Hey, what's up, guys? Matt Johnson here. We are back with another episode of Real Estate Uncensored. This is the place where you get actionable ideas, insight, and inspiration to turn your real estate career into a life of freedom. We have an interesting show. We're talking about millennials. We're talking about social media. We're talking about strategic planning for 2017, social media trends, both past and future. So we got a lot of ground to cover. And more importantly, we're taking your questions live. So if you have questions, guys, put them in the comments right below on Facebook Live. This is a really cool forum so that we can actually interact with you guys live. So let's do it. Bring your questions, bring the best that you've got, and let's do this thing. So, all right, first of all, let's welcome in the Junior Grandmaster himself in the co-pilot seat, as always, my illustrious compatriot, Greg McDaniel.
What up, man? Happy Friday to you. You can tell that I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm not being run over by a Mack truck anymore. I actually put hair gel in my hair for the show, but I refuse to put on a sports coat because it's so fucking cold outside that my nipples are hard. But, you know, I have a sweatshirt.
TMI. Good Lord.
Oh, God, it is freezing. My nipples aren't really cold. I just like saying that to freak you out because I like the look on your face like, ugh, God, why would anybody want to know that? But no, I'm doing well, man. Doing well. Yesterday I did 4 impromptu McDaniel challenges plus my McDaniel challenge that was scheduled. So I had a very, very full day. We'll talk about more about that a little bit later. But I'm just glad to have my big boy pants on and got in the shower, starting to look like a normal human being again, and going to be on the mend, man. Day 8 of being sick. Our guest today bailed on us because he was sick as a dog. So I feel for him.
Yeah, what is going on? I mean, he's like 1,500 miles away, so I'm reasonably confident he didn't directly catch it from you. But I mean, you never know. You, Greg, you get around. I mean, if you're flying around the country, I mean, who knows? But have you been in Omaha recently?
I have not been in Omaha ever, Matt.
Oh, okay.
Because you didn't invite me soon enough to go to Jeff Cohn's class before.
Well, no, that's just crazy talk. You stop that.
I wanted to go, and you ruined my dreams.
I ruined your dream.
Dream crusher.
Right. So first of all, let's deliver some value right off the bat.
Okay, I should start talking.
There's a great question from a new agent that I want to address, and Greg, you're going to come through the camera and kill me. But Ashley McClary says, anyone looking to role play FSBO and neighborhood farming scripts for the new ISA on the East Coast? So what is a good kind of a neighborhood farm, just a general neighborhood farming script? If you're a relatively new agent, what's the fastest way to get them up and running and calling people in a nearby neighborhood to look for business?
What's the fastest way to get them up and calling? Is that the question?
Yeah, just a very drop dead simple script.
You just get on the damn phone. I mean, that's the fastest way to be doing it. I mean, your simple script is this. Hey, guys, my name is Greg McDaniel. I work with the McDaniel Callahan real estate team. I'm doing some calls into the neighborhood. I just want to introduce myself. I'm going to be working these neighborhoods. So if next time that you talk to me or you get a message from me and you have any questions that I can answer for you about the market or maybe a value about your home, feel free and give me a call back. My best number is 925-915-1978. Hope you have a blessed Friday and a wonderful weekend. Boom, done. And then you move forward. I mean, that's a very, very simple thing. It's not, you're not selling anything. You're introducing yourself. And at that point, you can, I don't know, then you can start selling yourself if you want to, but that would be what I would want to. That's how I would break into a marketplace or go in and start doing calls around just solds. And talk about, the property and how fast it sold, like I do on my circle prospecting on lead gen scripts and objections page every day, except when I'm dead sick. Or another really good one is to go and call around just pendings, because now you have a sense of urgency. Now you can say, oh my gosh, this home went pending in 3 days. There are so many other buyers out there. The iron's hot. How fast can we strike? Are you guys thinking about selling? This is an active marketplace.
Yeah.
It's a another very, very hot opportunity for you to make contact with someone without being salesy, right?
Okay, interesting. All right, and then a little success story here to share with everybody. So Denise Gerke, hopefully, says, today was my first day of cold calling, and a very nice woman answered, and I went through my talk and asked her if she was interested in selling a home, and at first she said no. But after we talked a bit more, and she finally said, well, I would like to find a home with a view around $500K. If you can find that, I might sell my house. Her house is worth around $400. So after just an hour of calling, I got a $900K deal as long as I do my follow-up work. So not a bad day for being on the phone.
Not a bad day, but I hope to God that she's going for no and not going for a lead, because if she stopped with that one lead, we never know how many additional clients or prospects that could be in that day's worth of prospecting she allotted out. So let's say she allotted 3 hours for that day because she's a newer agent, right?
Okay.
She gets that one lead. It's a potential $900,000 value. She feels really good about herself. She's like, oh, good job, patting yourself on the back.
Yeah.
But if you stop, there could be multiple different leads still left in that pile. It could turn into a $3 to $5 million day.
Right.
So
it depends on what your approach is. So I did an interview with Greg Harrelson and a guy that's built a team of essentially went from 5 to 1,100 agents in multiple offices in 7 years. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So their entire company runs on the premise of set one appointment a day. He said, I like to keep things simple, just set one appointment a day. So there's that approach in which if you set that appointment, then you can feel like you've accomplished something for that day. The difference is if you stop on those days when you do set an appointment and you don't keep going, then on the days where you do put in your normal time and you don't set an appointment, you have to be willing to keep going until you do. And most people aren't willing to do that. You have to commit to one or the other. You can't just go, well, when I feel like it, I'll go for one appointment. But then when I don't feel like it, then maybe I'll just go for the time that I put in, however much time, I have my butt in the seat, and that's how much I'll prospect. So the point of that is pick whatever your system is and stick with it.
I'm not 100% behind that, and this is why. Because I was doing the one appointment thing, but I didn't like that because it was some days I'd start and got to get it right off the bat, and then what the hell am I going to do for the rest of the day? But when I changed it to the go for no method, there would be days that I wouldn't get anything. All right, I'd get told no. I only had an hour, so I'd go for 25 no's. Sometimes that would be hard to do. But then mathematically, the payoff in reverse, some days I'd get 3 or 4 leads. They were piping hot. So I'm for the go for no. But I mean, if it makes you feel better, Matt, you can go for the one lead a day. But it's a mindset reshift. Well, you're reshifting your mindset. Still a little sick. And the reason why is that don't laugh at me.
You're fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh, you're okay. You're okay. But the thing is that once I started saying that I like the no's, I got desensitized to the no's, and all of a sudden it wasn't bad for me to hear them. I encouraged them. I wanted them. I needed to hear, the go F offs. So it just, for me, it was a mindset change.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay. All right.
It's actually breaking Caitlin's heart that I've never been to Omaha. So Caitlin, I'm sorry. I will come to Omaha as soon as Matt invites me, and he can, let me into the Omaha family. But Matt's still holding on to that and won't share.
I know, it's sad. She was very disappointed. All right, so let's take one more, and I want you to just tell me. You may not be able to answer the exact question, but Kelsey Jordan says, "Help! Need the best noise canceling headset or earpiece that are clear and have no issues with the other side for lead gen."
Blue Parrot.
Can you run me through real quick, like how you're dialing in and what you're using?
Sure. If she wants just an absolute, complete, and total rock star headset, it's called Blue Parrot. I did a McDaniel challenge with a guy. I swear to God, I thought this man was in a dead silent office where a mouse could fart and I would hear it because it was so quiet. We started talking about it. Ends up he was a truck driver driving the truck with his window down, playing music while talking to me on the phone. He turned the noise canceling system off. It went from to. I'm like, oh my God, I have to see these things. And so, yeah, they're like $139. They're a little bit, that one looks a little bit newer and nicer. It pairs with Bluetooth. So if you want to do that, go for that. There's another one called the Boom. These are both for cell phones. So take a look at those two. Blue Parrot is absolutely rock star though.
Okay,
cool. I should answer your question.
Yeah. All right, so take a quick step back, and then we'll dive into the social media stuff. So number one, everybody go check out McDanielRealEstateSystems.com because there's 2 things there. There is Greg's favorite scripts where you can download all of his good stuff on circle prospecting. Well, we need to get this circle prospecting script in there. It's everything but circle prospecting. We'll talk about that some other time. But anyway, there's a bunch of scripts in there to check out, and they are all free, and they each have a video link of Greg running through each script. So keep that in mind. And then the other thing to check out is High Touch Real Estate Farming, which is the video course we put together last year. It's $99 for 8.5 hours of essentially me just cracking Greg's head open.
So violent.
Like just taking like a package of ripe blueberries underneath of a steamroller truck. I mean, I squeezed every little last bit of information that I could get out of Craig's head. I'm impressed. I continue to come up with something new to say on this.
Me too. Anyway, I'm really impressed, actually.
Yeah, so go check that out. McDanielRealEstateSystems.com. Let's dive into the social media stuff. Unless you want to
hold on. I got to go.
Yesterday.
Yeah, I want to talk about my McDaniel challenges yesterday. I talked to John and Brandon 2 nights ago. Epic conversation with you guys. What an awesome time to chat with you guys. We exchanged some seriously cool stuff, which I will share out with you guys, some social media cool hacks since we're talking about social media today. And then David, who I spoke with last night, super cool dude. Loved chatting with you, my friend. And then Yorni, on Monday, blessed conversation. Also, guys, Talent Prospecting is another sponsor of our show. They are the company that does My ISA. So if you'd like to know anything more about My ISA, Philip, please let me know. I gotta share these numbers with you, man. These numbers are absolutely insane what this dude did for me. He did. Where are these damn call numbers? He did. Check this out, dude. Check this out. He did 177 calls yesterday for me, right? Talked to 25 people. Guess how many appointments he set for me?
Out of 25 connections,
mm-hmm.
And it's at, I don't know, I would think 3 or 4 at the most, right?
He set 4.
4.
Set nice. 4 appointments, not leads.
That's
4
insane.
Appointments for me.
Good God, dude.
It's freaking ridiculous, dude. The guy's he's like crystal meth. He's like, he gets you high because every time you talk to him, you're happy. You're like, oh, hi. Although I have no idea what crystal meth does because I've never done crystal meth. But
yeah, exactly.
Good times. All right. On with the show, Johnson.
All right. So there's a good question that'll kick us off into this. So Evie says, lately I've been running out of ideas and creativity to make new contacts. Do you have any tips? I'm using Zillow for FSBOs and Vulcan for expired or withdrawns, and my goal is to set at least 1 appointment a day, which is funny. And unfortunately, I have not been reaching my goal, so all input is welcome. So this is a good episode for you, Evie, and anybody else that is struggling with the same thing, because we're going to talk about social media strategy, things that are changing, things that are going to be coming down the pipe next year, some cool tools and things like that. So there's a couple of resources we want to point you to. Number one, there's an article on Forbes called 5 Ways Millennial Social Media Habits Will Change in 2017. That is really good. And then the 2017 Social Marketing Planning Guide, which, Greg, you said you got this from Social Media Examiner, right?
Yeah, I did in their email. So guys, if you want to stay up on that stuff, go to Social Media Examiner, sign up for their newsletter, which comes out weekly, sign up for their podcast. And then every Friday, Pacific Standard Time, on their Facebook page, and they use a system called Huzza, because they'll broadcast out to Facebook Live, Periscope, and out to their page. Go take a look at them. I'm listening to today's episode right now before I got on the show. Just every day, every Friday, it's up to the minute information about what social media is doing and how it can affect you as a marketer. So that's where I get a lot of my stuff. I just gave away one of my greatest tips, but you know what? We're here to help, not to hoard, Matt. So I'm okay.
Yeah. Well, and let's kind of step back and put social media in the context of everything, right? So if you're doing active lead generation where you're picking up the phone and calling and you're getting over that part, social media is a great way to supplement that and start to reach out people and bring them into your world and take the people that are already in your world and deepen the connection and the relationship that you have with them so that you turn people that are friends and family into clients. So just a quick word on that. So social media is not a substitute. It definitely will not substitute if you're unwilling to pick up the phone and call somebody, because the whole point, a lot of what you do through social media will eventually lead to you getting an email introduction or getting someone that responds to you and say, yeah, I'd love to talk. And then you're going to have to private message them, get their phone number, and pick up the phone and call. So
No,
I know.
No
well,
calls,
so you're going to feel that, you're going to feel that twinge of whatever, the call reluctance and stuff like that. So social media isn't you're not going to take someone from not knowing who you are to knowing who you are to trusting you to the point where they want to do business with you just based off of what you do on social media. So I want to clear that up right away. Now, if you already know somebody, or if you bring them into your world and then you talk a lot on Facebook Messenger and things like that, or if you're reconnecting with your database, which is amazing to do on Facebook Messenger, that's one thing. But we're talking about drawing new people in, generating leads.
Yes, there is. Well, social media messenger. I mean, Facebook Messenger is rapidly changing, and some of the new things that they're coming out with today is like you can actually go play games with people. I believe on the Messenger itself right now. And there's a few other things that I'm learning about on there that I was going to try to get in for this conversation, but damn it, I couldn't get in time. Shit. But yeah, I do think that social media is a major part of the future of real estate. But I think you're right, Matt. I think that it never will replace a one-on-one human-to-human interaction ever.
Yeah. 7
You
levels
have to
of
understand that.
communication. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So let's get into this. Let's start with the 5 ways the millennial social media habits will change. And Greg, you are not quite a millennial, but you're pretty close. You're tech savvier than I am, and I'm technically a millennial. So anyone that's our age, 35 and, 35 to 27, 28, something like that. Anyway, well, this matters to you because we're the next generation we're the late home buyers. And the ones that are maybe more successful or established are the first time and second time home sellers. And so these are starting to be more important. So number 1, ratings will be everywhere. So the article says millennials love rating and reviewing, and they trust reviews and user-generated content more than any other demographic. We're used to rating pretty much everything, which is absolutely true. I talked to a guy today on a podcast interview. He's down in Alabama, and one of the key things that they've done for their team that's contributed to them doubling their business over the last couple of years from 100 units to now 246 this year and climbing, is they have 150 plus 5-star reviews on Zillow.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So what they do is in the closing process, number 1, they ask before they close. Number 2, they have an automated sequence of emails that goes out as soon as a contract goes pending that starts to set the client up for the expectation that they're going to ask and giving them a place where they can go if they want to early and leave a review already. Then they ask as part of the closing process, they have someone that is like their client care coordinator, and it's their job. One of their jobs as part of the closing process is to call that person up and get a review from them if at all possible. And then in the closing process, they're doing like they make it an event, right? So they do a gift basket. They've tried all different stuff in their gift baskets. They have balloons. They bring their vendor partners in that help with the transaction to show up at closing, and they really make the closing an event and really try to make that client feel special and appreciated for having done business with them. And it's made a huge difference. So they have an amazing Zillow profile as a result, which brings them more and more and more new business because people are paying so much attention to the quality of reviews online. So that's just a quick example.
I love that, actually. I mean, I don't think a lot of people do that enough. Unfortunately, they don't make the client feel special enough. Like today, actually yesterday, I totally forgot since I've been out sick. But I told one of my older clients, they're in their late 80s, somewhere in that ballpark. But the Mr. Seller has partial dementia, and so he forgets to do a lot of stuff and a lot of those kind of things. So I bought him an Echo. I bought him one of these right here. And so it's going to be coming tomorrow. And by the way, guys, I love Alexa. This is my girl. Holy shit. No, I'm not actually talking to you right now.
Closest female relationship?
Yeah, well, in proximity right now, yes. But yeah, she's awesome. She does everything for you. Try it, guys. Look into it. For $200, you cannot beat something that you just talk to and it does everything for you. But I mean, that's just an example that I'm going to give it to them. So now they can take it up to Roseville where they moved. And now that if he forgets something, they can make working lists, shopping lists. He can just talk to it. He can give it answers. She can give him answers back. But you should have seen the look on their face when I told them I was going to buy them an Echo. They're like, what? I mean, like you could see the tears like kind of welling up. Then I had to change the conversation. Oh, wow. Okay, no crying.
All right, let's enough with the mushy stuff. All right.
Yeah, I gotta go. Hair will roll out the window.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and that's something I need to do a better job in my own business. I mean, I've done some good things, but I need to make it more of a system. I need to really settle on what I'm going to do. So there's things like handwritten notes, and I'll make an effort to send books that I think my clients would appreciate, that I think will help them genuinely grow their business, but they'll also enjoy reading and will show that I put in the mental effort, that I know them, that I understand where their business is at. And then I send them a gift based on that. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do. What's that?
That really does fit you. And I think a lot of people, when they just send a card, those get read and then most of the time get thrown away. But books don't get thrown away. You're not going to throw a book away. So if you can get a book Like this book. Hold on. This is a book that I was featured in called Overcoming Distractions about ADHD in the Business World. And he, I'm going to, if this was a good book, I'd open up the book, write a little insignia to him right here, and then close it up with write my phone number in there. You know what? That way it's like a business card that never leaves.
That's right.
Right. Are you doing that right now, Matt?
I've tinkered around a little bit with that. So yes, I have done like the intro letter or a thank you note in the book. I like it. It is super expensive, so it's actually cheaper it's about a third of the cost to go to Amazon, buy a used book, and send them a separate handwritten thank you note. Remember what like the guy that sent me all the books, Pasquale? We interviewed him for Pursuing Results. He sent me managing the professional service firm and all that stuff. That's more of what he did. So he would tell me, hey, I'm going to send you a book, and then the book would show up and it would come from Amazon with a little thank you note like pre-printed within the receipt. But then he would send me something separate. That way, it didn't have to go to him. You write something in it, then walk your happy ass down to FedEx office and pay $12 to ship the book you just paid $4 to get shipped to you. So there's ways to do it just to make it easier and cheaper on yourself. But that's what I do. So I'll go and ship it, and then I'll send them a separate handwritten note that I just drop in the mailbox outside my place, and then that way I don't have to go somewhere to mail stuff, and it doesn't cost me 3 times as much.
So basically, you're a cheap ass. Yeah,
it's a different way of doing the same exact thing. Plus, you don't risk the thing where you mess up your note, because I have really bad handwriting, so I screwed up a book.
You don't.
I do. I have horrible handwriting. So I already screwed up one book by trying to write the note on the actual inside cover, and then I'm like, oh, this is bad. This is very bad. I'm going to go through like books, and I'll just make them.
Anyway, buy cases of the same book.
The point of that is make the client feel special and ask for the review, and then make it easy to get the review. So there's a couple resources for that. Number one, my client Doran Aldana runs a software company called the Testimonial Engine. That's amazing. You should check that out. Another one of my clients is big on a service called Bird Eye. That's based out here in SoCal. Both of them are services that allow you to very easily send like an automated email to your clients to encourage them and make it very easy for them to leave you reviews, and the more the better. So it gets them to leave the review first. That gets sent to you. Then they get the links to like post that review in various places. So either way, even if they don't follow through and post it anywhere, you still get the review, and you can do whatever you want with it from there, and you can use it in your marketing materials and throw it up on social media. So that's the point of me saying that was to finish off that thought. So let's move on to number 2. Workplace communication will start to shift. And Greg, this goes to your point about Facebook Messenger and all the changes. So they said the use of social media platforms like Facebook and Twitter are starting to become more tolerated in the workplace. Well, no shit. As millennials start claiming higher positions of leadership, we will see a massive shift in how social media is used from a professional standpoint. So, I mean, I can tell you, inspired by what you and I do, Greg, I've started to send video updates to my clients on Facebook Messenger.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the response like? What's the response?
Very good. Except for the fact there was a little snafu the other day. I sent someone, it was a little bit of a longer update, so I sent them 2 15-second videos in a row. Because they were both the exact length and the screenshots looked the same, he assumed that they were duplicates of the same video, and he only watched one, and it was the least important of the 2. So just something to keep in mind.
Well, a way to get around that, Matt, would be, I totally see how that could be a problem. Maybe in the future, what folks could do if they want to do multiple video updates, maybe 2, 3, 4 of them on the 15 seconds, just between the different videos. Right, here comes the next one. Here comes the third. Here comes the 4th video. So they all know that there's a series of videos. And what were you?
Yeah, that's a good point. Now, what I did is I also emailed him the same information. So it's one of those things where, as email continues to get more and more crowded, or you're dealing with millennials that maybe are bad at checking email because they're just bad at life, or whatever the reason is, sending the same information in multiple channels, I can see that becoming more and more prominent. Or you say, hey, there's an email with a lot of information. You send the email, and then you send a Facebook video message saying, hey, I just sent you an email. There's more to cover than I can do in this message, but you need to take a look. Watch out for it. I just sent it over. That way you don't have that situation where you're emailing something to somebody and they go, yeah, I didn't get it. It went to my spam folder.
Yeah, I completely agree. That would be a very good way to do that. Real quick question. Caitlin Brown. Hey, she has a question for me, Matt, not for you. What is the future of virtual reality in real estate? Those headsets are crazy. Caitlin, the reality I see for virtual reality in real estate is the fact that in the future, I'm going to give Matt and Julie and his three obese little wood denting bastard babies, they're going to have their cell phones, right? And they're going to have a VR set that, I would probably give them. Or you can go buy Google Cardboard, which would be basically the same thing. And there'd be files of walkthroughs through properties so they can get the idea, a real time value, image of the property. We can turn left, go up, go down. They can make a move through the property and see if it's a property they actually want to potentially go and actually look at. So I'll send them a bunch of videos in an evening. They'll look at the files. They'll pick out a couple that they really like, and then we'll go out to the property. I think it'll be ultimately a great way of time saving, and it's also going to be a great way to showcase, to your future sellers what you're doing that's standing out from other real estate agents. So there's a lot to happen in VR. That's just right off the top of my head, but I think there is some really good stuff to it. I don't think it's going to replace us. I think it's going to be a huge add for us. So hope that answered the question a little bit for you. And I definitely want to try one of those Ocular Rift things and take a roller coaster ride. I've seen those people take those rides. The other thing looks crazy. Yeah. RNA. Yeah, it is Google Cardboard. What are you laughing at?
I'm just laughing at the image of you with like a headset on going. Yeah, exactly. All right. So let's get back to the 5 ways millennials are going to use social media differently in 2017. Number 3 is millennials will face a choice, which is to bail on social media platforms or fall deeper into the echo chamber. And this is a weird one. So Facebook's new newsfeed algorithm, because of that, users tend to get more stories like the ones they've engaged with in the past, which produces an echo chamber effect where users end up surrounding themselves in the news and ideas they already agree with. Now, this is something that there's a lot of hand-wringing about, especially if you're, in the media, and I won't get into the political reasons behind it. But suffice it to say, yeah, Facebook wants to serve up the stuff that you engaged with in the past. And guess what? People like to engage with things that they tend to agree with. Yes. That's the way life works. But we all have friends, and those friends post content, and half the friends don't agree with us. So I think that's a lot of hand-wringing about a lot of nothing. So I'm going to move on from that one.
No. Shush.
Oh, you have a political opinion about this, Greg?
Yeah, Matt, we're gonna get political. No, we're fucking not. No, but I'm serious. I think that there is going to be a shift on that. But I've never met anyone that doesn't like to look at the things that they like to look at. But the echo chamber is something that's definitely real. It's just that's real out there. We need to understand and take a look at, because people are just going to get more reinforced, reasons why their point is correct versus why, their friend is incorrect about a subject matter. So I think that we're going to have a separation of reality at some point, because people are going to say, well, I've read all these articles, and your friend's going to say, well, I've read all these articles. And then you're going to, pit each other against each other on certain subject matter. It could be, which medicine to give Matt's kids so that they don't get so fat, or it could be, which political candidate do you think should run for office next go around? I mean, it's an interesting concept.
My point is that it's always been that way.
It's growing. It's growing that way. It wasn't like that when it first started out.
It's human nature. Facebook is just getting better at serving up what we actually consume. And there's still more than enough, because we are friends and we are connected with people who disagree with us. We will always be exposed to new ideas. The bottom line is that social media is extremely good at sharing ideas. So just because Facebook wants to come along and give us more of the stuff that we actually engage with, you got to remember that talk radio, half of Rush Limbaugh's audience is people that don't agree with him.
Yeah, it's the same as Howard Stern.
That people only engage with content that they agree with is incorrect.
On social media, we're talking about right now. We're not talking about talk radio.
No, but it's the same. It's the same thing. People engage with content they don't agree with. When somebody puts up a comment that I don't agree with on politically, I'm just as much tempted to comment as I am when somebody puts up something I agree with. So the idea that if you well, that's your personality, but if you are just the idea that Facebook is only going to end up serving stuff up that you agree with, it's just funny, because if it was all liberal stuff, they wouldn't have an issue with it. That's my point of view.
Wow, we did go political. Okay.
Yeah, we did go political on that one. Anyway, number 4, overall millennial social media usage will start to decline. According to Infusionsoft, 90% of millennials currently use social media, but research also suggests that for more than half of us, social media is a chronic source of unhappiness.
It's true. It's true, man.
Millennials are starting to recognize this and beginning to see that the platforms they used when they were younger is more juvenile and less significant than they were before. So we might see a significant drop off in total social media usage among millennials. Some might stop using it altogether, and others will start using social media less frequently throughout the day. I'm not. I'm neutral to / happy about that potential development, because if it cuts down on the noise and the people that produce amazing content continue to do so, and the people actually interact with more great content rather than just barfing up, just nothingness, then I think that's a good thing overall.
Well, I think a lot of the times everyone thinks they need to be on every single social media channel right now. I talk to a lot of my cousins they're 28, 27, so about 10 years younger than I am.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them, I mean, one of my cousins, Steve, I mean, he's never even had a Facebook account. A lot of the other ones, they have Facebook, but they don't ever really interact on it. They're all about Snapchat and Instagram. So I think we're going to see a paradigm shift away from certain social media platforms towards others, like they were talking about in the article as people get older. But what they also said in the article is that it's impossible to predict the future because we don't know the future applications and new platforms that are going to be coming out. I think that, I mean, right now, the social media giants, everybody and their sister is racing for our eyeballs on our cell phones. I think our cell phones are ultimately going to go away, to this capacity, and we're going to start interacting with wearable tech like the Snapchat spectacles, which are fascinating first gen, wearable tech. So where can that go from there when Snapchat actually qualified and classified itself as a camera company? So if they're a camera company, what's their ultimate goal? What's that platform going to look like, and how people are going to be able to use that information and technology down the road? I think that the wearable tech like the spectacles is going to be transformable for our real estate business, because we can now walk through a property in 10-second little snaps. The glasses can hold 100 of them, and take a look at the room as you walk through it, and then you can go and, as on this camera, if you rotate your camera like this, it actually rotates the image itself. So I think it's one of the first steps towards VR for social media. So interesting thing there. So that's why I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever completely get into Snapchat. I can't wrap my brain around the idea of constantly putting in content when it gets deleted in 24 hours, even though now what you can do is you can take your snaps, you can save them to your storyline, download them into your phone, then you can upload them to Instagram, you can upload them to Facebook, you can upload them to Twitter, and you can snap them. So there's multiple different ways you can chop up that one data. So I do see that, but where is that going to take us from here? I mean, we're just
The interesting thing is, like, if you really pay attention to like Gary V's social media channels, and you look at like the content that he's putting out on Snapchat and Instagram, there's very little content.
Mm-hmm.
There's very little. There's not, and I love Gary V, and his books are insane, and he has a lot of great things to say, but apparently not on Instagram and Snapchat. So if I'm looking for information, if I'm looking for something that's useful, I don't go to Gary V on those channels, right? I go to Gary V on YouTube. I'll go connect with Gary V on Facebook. So the social media channels that have the ability to deliver like longer form content, that's where the most useful stuff you can put out is. And if you're selling your expertise, your knowledge, your energy, your skill in doing something, you have to be on at least something. You have to have some sort of platform that actually demonstrates your expertise. And that's an issue with having like Instagram or Snapchat as your main platform, because that is a branding, inspiration, entertainment platform. So if you're already a fan, yes, you have to drive them to something else. So whether it's a website or whether it's Facebook or whatever the case is, you'll have to have like a primary place where you demonstrate your expertise, your knowledge, and you share actual wisdom, something that's actually useful with people. Then use the other stuff, the small chunk stuff, to build up just like a brand. But then you have to send people back to the place where they can actually figure out what the hell it is that you do and what you know and what you can do for them.
Right. So micro content is your bait. It's at the top of the funnel. I mean, Matt, you and I, we always joke about the fact that I just fucking suck when it comes to sports, right? I just do not have the patience to sit through and watch a sports game.
You're sports tarded.
Sports retard, yes. But I do go to Snapchat, and I'll watch ESPN little snaps about the information, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, I got the gist of the idea, and I'm moving forward.
Yeah.
All caught up. Oh, I knew the whole game plan now. But I mean, if I did find something interesting, then I would be baited back to listen to the whole story. So, I mean, there's going to be a whole strategy behind how to use both short and long content on the social media platforms.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's finish up this article with number 5. We'll see new ways to communicate concisely and non-verbally, which is interesting. So with more social media apps shifting to either mobile exclusive or at least designed for a mobile device, and with the demand for more content and faster experiences, it's only natural that users will strive for even more concise communication. Emojis is a good example of that. Facebook started the trend earlier this year with the release of emoji reactions, and similar nonverbal reactions may also appear on competing platforms as a way to encourage faster but less thoughtful communication, and millennials will eat them up. So we see this, I mean, with the platform that we're on right now. I mean, you can just click, like, and you can see them flutter across the screen. Yeah. So let's do that right now.
I like it. We like it when you guys like us. So like us, please. Our feelings are dependent upon you.
Yes.
Help us. Help.
We'll lose all sense of self-esteem and self-worth if we don't get Facebook likes. Oh, we got one. All right.
We got a like? Damn it, I missed the like.
It may have been an angry face. It went by very quickly. But anyway.
So here, the interesting thing about this is the fact that GIFs or GIFs, whatever the fuck those things are called, the little anime GIFs. I think those are going to be very, very powerful. I mean, Matt and you and Aaron and I, we have a 3-way chat that we have up on Facebook all the time. And then when like Aaron and I start bantering back and forth, we start sending each other ridiculous GIFs or GIFs. And you're always just like, what is wrong with you two idiots? But those say everything you could possibly say and more without saying a single word.
Right.
I do think that that's going to be a thing of the future, but I'm afraid about that a little bit. I'm going to take a step back really quickly, back to the whole rating thing.
No, there we go. There was a whole flutter of them, by the way.
We did? We got some?
It was a little bit delayed, but yes, we got a whole flutter of them. So we appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much.
My emotional fuel tank has has now been refueled. Thank you, everybody.
That's right. So they're going to have to add like a 6th love language, and it's Facebook likes.
If you don't like my photo, you don't like me. Are we breaking up? So Black Mirror is a show on Netflix, guys.
Yeah.
Go watch it. Every one of them is different, and they're fucking creepy.
Yes.
But there's one.
They're amazing.
They're amazingly well done. But the one that has to do with the girl when she's in the coffee shop when she starts, and the interactions you get judged on, they give you a likable rating. So you're like, everyone has to be fake nice to everybody. It's creepy, and how bad your social standings get measured based upon your likability states. So if you fucking millennials go out there and make a likability, index, we have to be nice to everybody. You guys suck. But but it's amazing to watch that show, guys. Go take a look at it. You'll know the one about it that I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's Black Mirror season 3 episode 1, because I remember watching that one first. It was really good. I recommended that to somebody else. Okay, so quick comment here. Abigail O'Brien says, I did my first pre-listing CMA appointment yesterday. Really appreciate your coaching and content. You guys are awesome. Abigail, we appreciate it. Good luck. Hopefully you end up taking the listing. So yeah, hopefully that goes well.
She will. I trust in her. I believe in her.
Good. We believe in you.
I wish you could too, Matt.
That's right. I can hear the soft music. Dun 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 dun.
God, we're weird.
All right. So the other thing I wanted to cover real quick before we wrap up is this 2017 social marketing planning guide. This is from the Social Media Examiner that you were mentioning.
There's no way we can cover this. There's so much content. No, we can't.
But I wanted to mention something here that really stood out to me. So ad blocker usage is starting to go up, right?
Big time.
As we get more and more ads, people are turning to ad blocking software, and it's always going to be a game. It's a new social media network or an app comes out. There's no ads on it. We use it. And then, the whole point is to monetize it. So they start putting ads. We don't like it. We start to flock away from that platform to the next big thing that has no ads. Or we figure out a way to block the ads. So here's the deal. So do you remember the reason why, Greg, that soap operas are called soap operas?
I actually have no idea.
Because they were sponsored by soap companies like Dove.
Well, soap was the first company or industry to ever put an ad on television. So interesting.
Yeah,
that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah. So like the whole idea of like native content, in other words, like you are using content that people want in and of itself, that's good enough that they would consume, or that maybe even good enough that they would pay for, that also markets you like that. That's the future of stuff. The future of things isn't figuring out better and more ways to interrupt people with a message that they don't really want. The future is figuring out how to give them what they want but in a way that sends you business. And
Well,
that's
actually,
going to be really interesting.
Well, interest.
It's very Pinteresting. Is that what you're going to say, Greg?
It's a Pinterest, yes.
It's Pinteresting.
Instagram. God damn it! Why couldn't I fucking say that? Instagram actually is introducing something like that. They have only certain companies are doing it right now, but they're doing a beta test run on it. They have in photo advertisements that you can run either your mouse over or you can touch on your phone, and it will actually bring up information about that product that you can buy right from that photo. So in actuality, Instagram is already kind of is on the front edge of that a little bit. That's going to be interesting to see how that's going to be adapted into the everyday life of social media. I think it's going to be one of the most powerful things that social media has ever come up with, because I remember hearing something about like when Britney Spears was super, super big, I guess there was something like there was no less than like 50 product placements in every one of her videos from different sponsors there in the background, what she was wearing, something else. And so I think that with that kind of a model, that if I was watching this podcast and I'm like, oh, that's a cool looking mic Matt has. What is that? Roll over, click. Oh, it's blah, 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 blah mic. Awesome. Well, I want to buy it. Click, buy and pay right there. I do think that's
we're not that far. That's really just a combination of like photo identification and then a direct link to Amazon. We're not that far off.
No.
Yeah. So, but I think I want to bring it like really, really down to the nuts and bolts of what an agent can get out of what we've been talking about. So when we talk about like native content, that's a term. So I use Greg as an example. So Greg, you post content about your life. You are a successful agent. Therefore, the content that you post naturally conveys that, right? So you're posting like you're doing Facebook Lives about a new listing, or it just closed, or just went pending, or whatever the case is, sprinkled in with lifestyle stuff, community event. You're out there in the community, like you actually are out there. You're a human being that talks to other human beings.
I know, it's amazing.
You go to events. I know, it's weird. And so you post about essentially your life because you're successful. All you're doing is like documenting it, and the act of documenting it on social media pulls people into you, and you get more, you get interaction, you get, deeper relationships. People feel like they have a relationship with you, even though you may not even know who they are, because they can sit back and they can watch your content. And that's the kind of stuff that we're talking about. It's figuring out just little ways that you can give people an insight into your life. If you don't feel like you're super successful yet, then give the insight into the parts where you are successful and the parts where you are striving to be successful. I certainly don't have all of my act together when it comes to the podcast production business, for example, but I'll share what I'm doing. I'll share what I'm learning, and I'll share what I'm implementing. And that's fascinating to some people. So I get it. If you're not quite there yet, where you feel like you're on Greg's level, where you're just, always running around and always doing something successful. But Greg, one of the things that you do share is you share your lead generation.
Yeah.
Which is, like anybody can do that. You don't have to be, you can be 10 years in the business or 10 minutes in the business, and you can share what you're doing to generate business.
Oh yeah, even if like you said, if you're 10 minutes in the business and you have a great way that you think could hack the business and get more leads, and you share it, and it definitely does work, well, that's bringing massive value to the people that found this thing. I am honored and humbled, you guys, by the amount of people that I contact and watch, and they'll say, "Oh my God, I can't believe I'm talking to you right now. I'm listening to you on the other side. I'm listening to another one of your podcasts, or when you're prospecting videos or something like that, and it's helped me grow my business significantly." Who was it? Yeah, Brandon and John, dude. They said that watching my prospecting videos is directly responsible for them getting off their butts and going and they made like $91,000 in 90 days.
Good.
By using Joshua Smith's prospecting thing, and watching me and letting me show everybody that it's not difficult. So thank you beyond words for watching the show, you guys, and rewatching it, and listening to us. I know Arne listens to a lot of the stuff that we're doing multiple times. And what up, Arne? How are you, my friend? But we are. It's interesting, because if you don't think you have value, Matt and I've had conversations about this. Matt is an incredibly intelligent human being, guys. No joke. We had a conversation like, "Well, Greg, I'm just not, I'm not a real estate professional. I don't have any value." I'm like, "Matt, you're so full of shit. Your eyes are brown. Look, you know what? You have systems and techniques and all different kind of business-minded ways that you can talk to real estate agents and really come from a different level and rain down the goods from your brain, and so that they can treat it like a business. And if you guys are not watching his live videos, please go and do so. They are fucking awesome, and you definitely need to go listen to them. Shit, I listen to them and take notes. I'll never tell them that though.
Yeah. That's awesome. All right. And Arne says she has to go because she is literally on her way to sign a listing. So congratulations, Arne. And thanks for watching. And Caitlin says, I can't have ads over cat photos, which I totally agree. Definitely the cat photos need to go. Those are add up.
No.
Out of that equation, though, that's the thing that needs to go. So one last thing I wanted to bring up from this social media.
Such a dick. The cats have feelings too, Matt. They have feelings too.
Not the ones in the photos.
Yeah, they do. They're hilarious. All the dumb ones.
All right. So one of the points that they made here in this guide is that social media is the new TV for brands, and that I agree 100% for that. When we now live in an age where Thursday night NFL football is broadcasting live on Twitter, we've definitely stepped into some new and interesting territory.
Yeah, it's interesting. The TV ratings are down 40% among teenagers and young 20-somethings. Let me show you this interesting little chart here. So this is national television viewing trends by age bracket. So ages 12 to 17, it's down 36.2%. Ages 18 to 24 is down 37.9%. 25 to 34 years of age is down 25.6%. 35 to 49 is down 12%. Check it out. This is where this really gets interesting. From 50 to 64, it's only down 1.9%. And then if you're at 65 or older, it's up 5.1%. So demographically, geographically doesn't really matter, but it's all about the age brackets. Our ages, I don't know if television is going to be a relevant source of information down the road. But, so they're coming out against social media right now. A lot of, people hating against the way the political, campaign turned out. Either you're for Trump or against Trump. A lot of people are saying that, hey, there's these guys that are coming out saying, yeah, I put out fake news. It looked legit, it sounded legit, but it was completely false on both sides of the campaign. So we have to be careful on where we take our information from. But if it's going to go all digital, then we have to understand, they have to be more vigilant on protecting the consumer from bad data. I mean, have you looked into any of that, Matt?
Protecting the consumer from bad data?
From bad news. If the TV is going away, it's a huge problem right now.
No, I don't think it is. I think it is. It's hand-wringing over stuff that wouldn't be an issue if it was on the other side of the political aisle. Because the people that are complaining about it are not on the right or on literally any other side of the table. It's literally the people on the left. So
no, it's not. It's actually not. It's actually not. This is actually an issue, but we'll talk about this off air. But just be careful what you guys consume. Make sure that it is, validate it. Go make sure that it is legit news. That's all I'm saying.
Well, yes, that's what I'm saying is that the cream rises to the top. If you pay attention to dumb people, if you pay attention to your friends that repost something and you don't vet it, and then you go and you use that as a basis of your political opinions, that is a very bad thing. If you go and you listen to informed people who actually do vet the stuff that they say, even if they don't agree with you, or especially if they don't agree with you, that is a good thing. It is not all the hand-wringing over, what's false information. That's false information is subjective.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So you're entitled to your own opinions. You're not entitled to your own facts. So facts are facts. And there's a lot of things that are being thrown around as people providing false information, where it's just that they don't like the information that's being put out there. And they don't like the fact that people that have different opinions than them now have the freedom to reach more people, whereas they didn't used to have access to the New York Times and the Washington Post. And so the range of opinions that you could put out there into the public sphere used to be about that big. And now the public sphere is that big. And that's the problem.
Well, you know what? We're going to see where it goes. We never, like we said before, we never know what the social media, landscape is going to look like in the next 1 year to 5 years. It's going to radically transform. So, you know what? There could be a whole new platform.
We might not even have these anymore.
About this. That would be fucking awesome.
That's right. Because instead of the iPhone, we'll have the iNub. The iNub 17. It'll just be a nub that goes in your ear.
I actually think that is something that I've always told people that. I think that it's just going to be like a little vibration, and all you're going to do is talk to yourself. Like, call Matt Johnson. hey buddy, what's going on? You're gonna have no external, anything hanging off of you.
It's interesting. There's an episode of Black Mirror that has they have like a contact lens, and then there's just a little hand, like just a little device that you have in your hand, and you just control it with a touchpad on with your thumb. Like that would be interesting.
There are already actual patents out for that. From multiple different camera companies, and what it is it's a contact lens. It's a camera that learns your blinking patterns, controls light, controls focus, and you can turn it on, turn it off, but it is in the point of view that you're seeing things. So that is in a patented process right now. So it is a legitimate thing. It will be here very, very soon. So very interesting stuff. I just think that it's going to be tremendously interesting to see what happens in the next couple of years.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, guys. Well, we got to wrap it up here. So make sure to go to McDanielRealEstateSystems.com, download Greg's favorite scripts. So there's a lot of stuff in there, and you've got everything from online buyer lead follow-up, seller lead follow-up, client management stuff like your script for how to let's go through that real quick. The script for how to get someone to make a really good offer on a home rather than lose it.
You mean, do you want to buy the house, or are you trying to buy the house? That one?
Yeah.
Okay. So Matt, Julie, you throughbees, little annoying babies, you. Hey, I want to ask you a real quick question here. Now, we just saw 456 Maple Street, and that's a good house. Wouldn't you guys agree?
Yeah, it's great.
Okay. Now I talked to the listing agent, and what I found out is that we're going to have about 3 or 4 offers that we're going to have to compete against. So I'm going to ask you a question right now. Do you want to just kind of try to buy the house, or do you just want to go buy the damn thing? This is your cue to answer.
I want to go buy the damn thing. Let's make the right offer, Greg.
Let's do it, Johnson.
All right.
I'm like, dude, you're freaking leaving me hanging.
I thought you were going to elaborate on why you said that, but anyway, that's the script. That's just a quick example, and there are something like 10 other scripts in that PDF. It's all free, and then each one has a link to a video where I had Greg go through exactly that, and so you can hear the phrasing and the tonality. So anyway,
we're gonna add to that, guys. Our circle of prospecting scripts are not in there. It was an oversight on our part. We are going to add those in sooner than later, probably next week when I have my full voice and mind back. But we are going to get them in there. So I'm going to show you just listed, just sold, just work in the neighborhood. I'll invite people to open houses, and then I'll do my new go for no script in there as well, which has been tremendously valuable for me, and I know it will be successful for you guys as well.
I know, and I would pimp the last show that we did because we talked about that script, but that did not record. So
you forgot to hit the record button.
Exactly. Oh man, and then Facebook Live cut us off at the end anyway, so it didn't matter. So
you and I were in a bad place on Wednesday. We were in a bad place.
It was a bad episode. It was probably the worst episode we've ever done. So don't go back and try to find it. Anyway, all right. So other reason to go to McDanielRealEstateSystems.com is the high-tech, high-touch real estate farming, which is a video course that we put together last year. Gives you everything you need to know to farm an area, everything you need to know about cold, warm, and hot outbound prospecting, working events, how to use Zillow, the whole 9 yards. Go check it out. Greg, what have you got for the end of today?
Matt. Okay, so guys, McDaniel Challenge is suspended, and because it is into 2018, which I guarantee you, around middle of 2017, everyone's going to be forgetting everything that they even signed up. So I foresee reopening McDaniel Challenge sometimes mid-17 because everyone's gonna be like, "The what? I don't even do real estate, man. I sell cars. Fuck off."
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
But what I would say,
I work for an insurance company.
Yeah, I do medical sales.
I'm an Oompa Loompa in a chocolate factory. Why are you calling me?
Those are your aspirations.
Yeah. Hey, why not?
So guys,
no, that's the fallback. That's my fallback.
That's your
That's my fallback.
So guys, in lieu of that, if you guys are in my area, the Bay Area, I am looking to expand my team. We are going to be bringing on 2 to 3 additional well-qualified self-starting agents that want to come onto our team. There are a lot of perks to work with us. So if you guys are looking to join a team here in the area, we are adding only 2 to 3 additional people. Get a hold of me, 925-915-1978. You will get coached by me. You will have exclusive access to me 24/7, it seems like, because you'll be literally in the office with me. You can ask me any question anytime that you want. But we're only taking very well qualified people that are not, I do not want to babysit you. So if you're someone that cannot self-start, do not apply. And then we are going to be updating the other courses, guys. So anyways, stay tuned. We got a lot of cool stuff coming down the pipe for you.
Yep. Guys, appreciate you watching. Mila says, hope Greg feels better. And
Thank
so
you,
we
Mila.
appreciate that. And so a couple people asked for the website again, and maybe I already mentioned it and they cleared that up, but it's McDaniel realestatesystems.com. So anyway, all right, guys, thank you so much. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe on iTunes or Stitcher if you prefer the audio versions. That way you can learn and burn at the gym, or you can listen to us to and from appointments. We love all the interactions, so we love being here on Facebook Live. Make sure to store up your questions and save them for the show. We'll answer them during the show.
Gather them like a squirrel. Gather them up like nuts and stuff them away somewhere safe that you can ask us all the questions on the live shows.
That's right. You want to squirrel away those questions. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching and for tolerating mostly Greg, but it's also me. And we'll see you next time.
See you guys. I love you. It's not